It was her birthday. We were at her favorite Italian place. The kind of spot that still folds your napkin if you step away and calls everyone signore. Candlelit. Classy. She smiled across the table at me. Wore the dress I bought her last year, the one she said was too fancy to wear anywhere but Paris. I thought maybe we were okay. That all the distance lately was just life. Work. Stress. She said she needed the restroom. Took her phone with her. That's what tipped it. She never used to bring her phone to the bathroom. Not even at home. But lately, it's been glued to her palm like in 4-drip. She left her purse behind, though. And when she stood up, her phone slipped off her lap and landed on her chair. Buzzed once. Then again. I didn't move. But then it buzzed a third time and lit up. Last night was perfect. Same time Friday. The number wasn't saved. No name. Just a 916 area code. I didn't touch it. Didn't breathe. Just watched the screen fade black, and every part of me with it. When she came back, she smiled like nothing happened. Sat down, kissed me on the cheek. Did I miss anything? Not a thing, I said. You look beautiful tonight. The waiter brought the cake. She blew out the candles. Made a wish. I smiled. But in my mind, I was already collecting. That night, she fell asleep beside me. Peaceful. Like she'd won something. I waited until her breathing changed. Got up. Slipped into the office. Opened her old MacBook, the one she used before switching to the work laptop. Still had her iCloud autologin active. I typed 916 in the search bar. 6 emails popped up. And 1 photo. She was in a hotel mirror. Wrapped in a towel. Holding a glass of wine. In the subject line. Delete after reading. Don't be stupid. Sent 2 nights ago. That was the moment I realized. She wasn't just cheating. She was strategizing. And I'd just been demoted to background noise in my own life. No confrontation. No screaming. Not yet. You don't interrupt a thief mid-heist. You let them finish. Then you lock the doors behind them. I called my lawyer the next morning. Didn't even tell Julia I wasn't going into work. Let her head off to her early yoga session with a kiss on the cheek and a protein bar in her hand. She had no idea I already knew the name of the hotel. And the man. I sat in Kara Bishop's office by 9:30 a.m. Hardwood floors. No sympathy pillows. She was known for 2 things. 1, ruthless divorces, and 2, never losing. She skimmed the printed emails. Zoomed in on the hotel confirmation, the photo, the timestamp. Didn't blink. Then looked up and said, "We're not divorcing her. We're dismantling her." She asked how long it had been going on. I told her I didn't know yet, but I would. Then I handed her the rest, the iCloud syncs, screenshots of disappearing messages, and a few odd transfers Julia had made from our joint account into something called Shielding Strategies LLC. Cute name, Kara muttered. I hadn't even confronted Julia yet. Kara was surprised. You haven't said a word? No. She sat back. Good. Let her feel safe. They make more mistakes when they're still in costume. We went to work. First move? Secure the money. Kara filed an injunction to freeze our joint assets until a forensic accountant could go through every withdrawal, every deposit, every conveniently forgotten business expense Julia had made. Second move? Hire the PI. Not some cartoon gumshoe. Kara had a guy named Luis who looked like a plumber, but could crack your entire online footprint in a day and a half. Luis said one thing before he left. If she's dirty, I'll find the mud. That night, I made dinner. Nothing fancy. Just roasted chicken and quiet. Julia walked in at 7:12, said traffic was a nightmare. Still wearing heels. Still lying like it was breathing. She kissed me. I kissed her back. We ate. Talked about nothing. She told me I'd been distant lately. I nodded. You're right, I said. I've just had a lot on my mind. She leaned forward. Is everything okay? I smiled. Everything's about to be. At 2:13 a.m., Luis sent me 3 photos. One of Julia holding hands with a man in a gray suit outside the same hotel as the towel selfie. One of them at a wine bar, his hand on her lower back. And one from 6 weeks ago. Different man. Same smile on her face. This wasn't an affair. It was a pattern. And I was just the guy footing the bill while she played executive with her new business. I turned off my phone, closed my eyes, and started planning what evidence I'd hand the judge first. I didn't confront her. I invited her out. Friday night, same night she was supposed to be out with the girls. Let's do something together, I said casually. Feels like we've been drifting. Her eyes flinched. She hesitated, then smiled. Sure, that'd be nice. Translation: I'll cancel the affair for now. Don't screw this up for me. We went to a rooftop bar. Small, quiet, just upscale enough for her to post a story without filters. I wore a wire. Nothing fancy. A voice recorder tucked in my jacket pocket. Louise coached me. Don't accuse. Just ask vague questions and let her explain. People who lie love the sound of their own voice. We talked over wine. She looked happy, relaxed, like she'd survived something that hadn't even started yet. Then I asked, "Is there anyone else?" Her eyes widened. Are you serious? Yeah, just want to be sure. Before we get deeper into this marriage, into money stuff, I want everything on the table. She scoffed. Peter, there's no one else. You've been acting different, disconnected. I've been stressed. That's all. No late night calls? She sipped her drink. I've never cheated on you, she said. Firm. Sharp. I'd never do that. That sentence was everything. Because now I had her lie, recorded, time-stamped, clean. And she had no idea. When we got home, she showered and fell asleep. While she slept, I backed up the audio. One copy on a flash drive. One in cloud storage. One printed transcript in a sealed envelope for Kara. Next morning, Julia was humming. Made coffee. Eggs. Kissed me like we were still 28 and trying for kids. You're in a good mood, I said. She winked. We're in a good place again. I smiled and started the dishwasher. Not because it needed running, but because that's where I'd hidden the second recording device. Same model. Voice activated. From last Tuesday. Later that day, Louise sent me the burner phone data. She used it under a fake name, Marla G. Had 3 active threads. One with the man in the gray suit, Trent. One with a woman who looked like her financial assistant, helping her siphon retirement funds. And one labeled simply, Exit Plan. Inside that thread, a message. He's clueless. I'm gonna keep the house. He can have the couch. She had no idea. But her next move was already on my calendar. Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. She had a secret meeting with her lawyer. How do I know? Because Louise took the photo of them walking in together. Her smile was smug. But the timestamp? That's what got me. Because the night before, she looked me in the eye and said, I'll never leave you. That's not even a thought in my mind. Monday afternoon, she walked into the house like she owned every inch of it. Dropped her bag. Hey babe, got a sec? I was already seated at the dining table. Sure, I said, without looking up. She slid a thick manila envelope across the wood toward me. I glanced at it. Didn't touch it. She smiled like it hurt her. I'm sorry it had to come to this. I opened it slowly. Standard boilerplate. Petition for divorce. Filed under emotional neglect, irreconcilable differences, and my favorite, controlling behavior. She'd outlined a list of demands. The house. 70% of joint assets. Spousal support. And my retirement pension. I read it twice. Calm. Then I looked up. You filed this Friday? She nodded. I didn't want it to get ugly. I chuckled. Pulled out my phone. Opened my inbox. Tapped one email. Filing confirmation, Thursday, 8:15 a.m. Her eyes froze. What's that? My petition, I said. Filed a day before yours. Already accepted. Already processed. She blinked fast. Twice. The mask cracked. I don't understand. I know, I said. You thought I was still playing catch-up. Then I handed her my own envelope. Inside, a condensed file of the materials Kara and I were preparing. Exhibit A, photos of her holding hands with Trent. Exhibit B, the transcript from her rooftop lie. Exhibit C, logs of her financial activity tied to Shielding Strategies LLC. She didn't open it. She just stood there. Stiff. You were spying on me? I leaned back. You were trying to rob me. She didn't cry. Not yet. But her voice dropped to that brittle whisper she always used when trying to spin things into pity. This was supposed to be clean. Respectful. Mature. Oh, it will be, I said, standing. Because the judge is going to see everything you wrote, said, and stole. All in your own words. She stepped forward. I was scared. Peter. You stopped being present. I thought. You thought I was weak. I cut in. You counted on it. Her mouth opened. No words. Just the sound of a woman realizing the character she wrote for me wasn't showing up for the second act. That night, she slept in the guest room. Didn't say a word during dinner. Didn't even look at me. And when I heard her crying behind the door, I didn't feel guilt. I felt relief. Because finally, she knew I wasn't bluffing. The accountant's report came in on a Wednesday. Thick folder. Binder clip. Labeled in red. Preliminary financial investigation. Right versus right. Kara called me in. We sat in silence as she flipped each page. Timeline. Transfers. Withdrawals. Private transactions routed through third-party holding accounts. Most under Julia's fake LLC, shielding strategies. Then she flipped to the kicker. 3 flagged transactions to a private brokerage account. All traced back to Julia's maiden name. All timed right before she filed her divorce petition. All logged after she told me she was saving for our anniversary. Kara looked at me and just said, she wasn't trying to leave clean. She was trying to leave rich. The judge didn't need convincing. At the first hearing, Kara handed him the binder. Julia's lawyer tried to argue it was preliminary, that it didn't prove intent. Then Kara read from one of the burner phone messages. Don't worry. I'll drain what I can before the freeze hits. He's too slow to catch it. Signed, Marla G. The judge raised an eyebrow. Who's Marla G? Kara handed him the email login audit. Confirmed the Gmail was accessed from Julia's home IP address. Julia's face turned ghost white. I don't know how that. Judge cut her off. Ms. Wright, this isn't just misconduct. This walks a fine line toward criminal liability. That was the moment. The shift. The moment the courtroom stopped seeing her as the poor, blindsided wife and started seeing what she really was, calculated, deceitful, and dangerously arrogant. Her attorney went quiet. Julia blinked fast, breathing shallow, jaw clenched like she wanted to vanish under the floor. We walked out of the courtroom, Kara in front of me like a tank. Luis was waiting outside with a small brown envelope. Inside? Photos from another hotel. Different guy. Same script. Same towel. Same smirk in the mirror. Kara handed it to me, said, keep it. Might never need it. But if she tries to crawl out of this, we nuke her again. That night, Julia tried talking. She stood in the kitchen, arms folded, voice low. I made mistakes. I panicked. I didn't know how to get out of it all. You didn't panic, I said. You practiced. She looked like she wanted to scream, but couldn't find the energy anymore. Just said, you used to be kind. And you used to be honest, I said. Now we're both someone else. I left the house that night. Moved into a hotel. Didn't tell her where. Didn't take anything but my laptop, the files, and the one photo I still had of her smiling before I knew what that smile meant. She called 3 times. Didn't answer. She texted. Can we meet? Just talk. No lawyers. You don't have to ruin me, Peter. Please. Let's keep this between us. Between us? That ship had already sunk, and she drilled the holes herself. I forwarded every message to Kara. She replied with one sentence. No deals. She didn't offer you one. But Julia kept pushing. Left a voicemail. I'm not proud of what I did. But it doesn't have to go any further. We can walk away with dignity. That word, dignity, landed like a slap. Because when she was draining our savings, setting up the exit plan, planting lies about emotional neglect, she wasn't thinking about dignity. She was thinking about dominance. 2 days later, her lawyer submitted an offer. She'd drop the spousal support request. She'd accept 50-50 asset split. She'd even sign a non-disparagement agreement. All she wanted? For the court not to read her burner messages into the official record. Kara called me that afternoon. You want to take the deal? I didn't answer right away. Not because I was unsure. Because I was thinking about the night I'd found the photo. Her fake name. The lies. And the next morning, when she kissed me like nothing happened, like she deserved everything and I was just supposed to play along. Let the court read it, I said. All of it. Next hearing was open to the public. Standard divorce proceeding. But word had spread quietly. Few people showed. But the ones who did, they weren't randoms. Her friend Melissa. Her cousin. 2 co-workers from her real estate group. And when Kara read the transcript out loud, line by line, the whole room stopped breathing. He won't even see it coming. Just get the money moved. I'll pretend to cry during mediation. If I have to fake a breakdown to get the house, I will. He's weak. Julia sat frozen, eyes on the table. Didn't look up once. Her hands shook. Her lawyer didn't object. There was nothing left to defend. The judge leaned forward. Ms. Wright, consider this a gift. If Mr. Wright wanted to pursue criminal charges, he has more than enough material to involve law enforcement. As it stands, you're lucky this is staying in family court. Julia said nothing. Didn't even cry. Just nodded once. Quiet. Like someone who realized the sympathy card had expired. We walked out without a word. Kara clapped me on the back. That, she said, was surgical. That night, I finally slept. Real sleep. No tension in my chest. No knots in my jaw. And for the first time in months, I dreamed. Not about her. Not about revenge. Just peace. But the story wasn't over yet. Because Julia? She had one more move. And it wasn't in court. It was online. It started with a notification. Julia M. Wright just posted for the first time in a while. That's how Facebook breaks the silence. I hadn't heard from her in 2 weeks. No texts, no calls. Her lawyer went radio silent after the last hearing. The damage was done, legally. But she still had one thing left. Narrative. She posted a long, soft-lit paragraph at 7:41 a.m. Light pink background. Big white text. Faux vulnerability dripping from every line. I stayed quiet out of respect, but I won't stay silent anymore. Here's the truth about what happened to my marriage. She wrote about neglect, emotional abandonment, how she fought for us while I drifted away, how I became obsessed with control and punishment, and the line that made me sit up in bed. Some people want to win in court. I just wanted to save us. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I just broke trying to hold everything together. She attached a photo, a filtered picture of her crying in the car. No makeup, just enough mascara smudge to look real. And it worked for a moment. The likes rolled in. Sympathy comments. Emojis. You deserve peace. He never saw your worth. This is so brave. For 20 minutes, she looked like a woman wronged. Until someone, I don't even know who, dropped the first link in the comments. A Google Drive folder. Public access. Labeled. Evidence submitted. Right divorce filing, verified docs. Someone had compiled the sanitized versions of the court documents. Audio transcript of her lying about cheating. Email logs from the burner Gmail. Financial tracing to Shielding Strategies LLC. Photos of her and Trent outside the hotel. And yes, the text she sent him that started all this. Last night was perfect. Same time Friday. Her comment section died in minutes. Likes disappeared. Supporters went quiet. Then came the real ones. So this didn't age well. Explain the LLC and burner phone, then we'll talk. This is why silence was your best option. She deleted the post in under an hour. Too late. Screenshots were already circulating. The folder? Downloaded, re-uploaded, duplicated. One guy even put together a timeline video and uploaded it to YouTube titled The Real Divorce Story. Lies, Fraud, and Fake Tears. Breakdown of the Wright Case. It hit 50K views in a weekend. She called that night. I watched the screen ring. Didn't answer. Voicemail came through. You've made your point. Just stop. I'm still a person. I replayed the line she once said to Trent, captured on mic during the rooftop dinner. He's weak. He won't fight. I'll walk away clean. I let the voicemail rot in the inbox. Because here's the truth. She weaponized lies to wreck me publicly and legally. Now she wanted mercy? No. Not after she tried to own the story while I was still clawing my name back from the mud she threw it in. I posted a single tweet. No hashtags. No pictures. Just words. She wrote a story with herself as the victim. I just provided the footnotes. It went viral by midnight. She showed up at my door. No warning. No text. Just a knock at 8:42 p.m., for days after her public sympathy stunt imploded. I opened it halfway. She was standing there in a hoodie and jeans, no makeup, clutching a plastic grocery bag like a teenager who got caught sneaking in late. Inside the bag? 2 takeout containers from the Thai place we used to order from every Sunday night. I thought maybe we could talk. I stared at her. She looked different. Not because of the clothes. Or the lack of performance. She looked like someone who just realized there was no audience left. No fans. No defenders. No judges to charm. Just the wreckage. I'm not here to fight, she said quickly. I'm not proud of everything I did. I didn't say a word. She stepped forward anyway. I just wanted to be seen again. Peter. I felt invisible. You were always building something, your career, your brand, that stupid podcast, and I was just there. You were supposed to be my partner, I said. You were supposed to build with me, not rob me. She nodded, tearful. I know. I know. That's why I'm here. I want to try and undo some of the damage. I'm sorry. She tried to hand me the bag. I didn't take it. Instead, I said, Are you sorry for what you did? Or just for getting caught? She didn't answer. Because she didn't have one. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, walked past her and sat on the porch. She followed. But slower now. I don't expect you to forgive me, she whispered. But I don't want to be your enemy anymore. You stopped being my wife before I ever became your enemy. We sat in silence. She tried again. Can we at least agree not to keep hurting each other? I haven't touched you in months, Julia. You've been hurting yourself. She flinched, then tried the oldest move in her book, reaching for my hand. I pulled away. No, I said. I'm not here to comfort the person who lit the match and cried when it got warm. She left the bag on the steps and walked off without another word. Didn't ask to come inside. Didn't ask if I still loved her. Because she finally understood. The worst punishment I could give her was letting her feel how replaceable she really was. Inside, I opened the bag. 2 spring rolls. Pan and curry. Same as always. Except now it just smelled like a trick. I threw it out. Went back to my desk. Hit publish on the next podcast episode. Title? You don't get to apologize after the impact. It charted top 100 by morning. It was supposed to be simple. Last hearing. Division of assets. Final judgment. I wore the same suit I'd worn to my father's funeral. Not out of symbolism, just because it fit. Julia came in late, sunglasses on, hair tied up like she hadn't slept in days. Her lawyer looked exhausted. Mine looked like she'd already won. Because she had. The courtroom wasn't full. Just a couple of bored clerks, one journalist who'd heard rumors of that burner phone divorce case, and a bailiff who kept giving Julia side glances. The judge shuffled papers, then exhaled, and started reading. In the matter of right versus right, the court finds clear evidence of premeditated financial manipulation by the respondent, Julia Wright. He paused, looked up, as well as documented intentional efforts to deceive, mislead, and malign the petitioner both in court and in public. Julia didn't breathe. Neither did I. Because I knew what we'd asked for. Retention of my pension. Sole ownership of the house. Denial of spousal support. 100% rights to all intellectual property, podcast revenue, and post-separation income. But what the judge said next, even Kara didn't see coming. Given the nature of the deception and the clear malicious intent documented in private messages and financial transfers. He closed the file. This court hereby awards the petitioner full ownership of all shared property. The respondent forfeits any claim to assets accumulated during the marriage due to demonstrated bad faith. Furthermore, due to reputational damages caused by public misrepresentation, the petitioner is entitled to seek a separate civil claim, which this court would be open to hearing under expedited motion. Kara raised an eyebrow. Julia's lawyer dropped her pen. Julia just whispered, No. And for once, she meant it. Not theatrically, not performative, just soft, hollow, like someone watching the exit door lock from the outside. After court, she followed me into the hallway. No cameras, no crowd, just her, standing there like she used to in our kitchen after a fight she started but didn't want to finish. I lost everything, she said. I turned calm. No, I replied. You just lost access to the things that never belonged to you in the first place. She tried to say more. I didn't stick around. Walked out. Sun hit my face for the first time in months. I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. Kara joined me on the sidewalk. I've seen a lot of burns in court, she said. That was cremation. That night, I got a message from a listener. Your story gave me the strength to record mine. I smiled. Because for the first time since this began, I wasn't reacting. I was building again. The money she tried to hide? The brokerage account in her maiden name? Frozen. Then liquidated. Judge granted full recovery to me, plus damages, because she moved it post-separation in bad faith. 6 figures. Money I once saved for our retirement, thinking it would fund late mornings on a porch somewhere, maybe a lake house, a dog, some peace. Instead, it became something else. I didn't spend a dime on myself, didn't upgrade the car, didn't take a victory trip to celebrate being legally unchained. Instead, I cut one check and handed it to someone who'd never once asked for anything. My nephew, Alex. He's 21, wanted to be a writer. Dropped out of school last year after his dad passed. He'd been helping me edit my podcast episodes. Quietly, behind the scenes. Never asked for pay. Just said he liked hearing me speak like I wasn't afraid anymore. I called him over. Sat him at the kitchen table of my new condo. Showed him the transfer receipt. His jaw hit the floor. You serious? Dead serious, I said. Start the company you told me about. The production studio. You've got the name. The talent. Now you've got the shot. He started crying. Not Julia style, crocodile tears trying to pivot a narrative. Real tears. The kind that say, someone just believed in me for real. That's what she never understood. You don't build legacy by stealing. You don't win loyalty by controlling. And you sure as hell don't break a man by lying. You just create a different version of him. Stronger, quieter, colder, but clear. The last time I saw Julia was 3 months later. At a grocery store. Hair tied back. No ring. She pushed her cart past me, stopped mid-step. She opened her mouth. I didn't stop walking. Didn't speak. Because nothing she could say would undo the reality I built without her permission. The podcast is thriving. This story, was our most downloaded series ever. But I never named her. Never dragged her in by name. I let people connect the dots. Because I didn't need vengeance. Just clarity. That's what this was about from the start. Not winning. Not revenge. Just getting back to a life that wasn't made of lies. To anyone out there being manipulated, recorded, gaslit, trapped by someone smiling with a knife behind their back, let them speak. Let them text. Let them write their own ending. And when they're done, turn the page. Because you're not just surviving the story. You're writing the next one.